Well, my name is Felix, aka Noom, aka Chico. I'm from Miami, Florida, born at Jackson Memorial Hospital from a little section called Brown Sub. For the most part, you know, off and on, my grandma really raised me, you know what I'm saying? Because my moms and my pops, they had addiction issues, you know what I'm saying? So my mother was addicted to crack cocaine and my daddy was an alcoholic. So the trauma for me started real early, you know what I mean? Since I was a kid, you know, uh, it's tough because when you have parents that's addicted to drugs and alcohol, um, whatever that vice is pretty much takes control of that individual, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times. And so they want to be, I believe that they wanted to be great parents, but it was just like the addiction just, it was too much. Excuse me. For me, trauma started real early. People think that to have PTSD, that's just for veterans who done been in the military, but, you know, I'm not doubting what the people say or what the doctors may say or whatever, however, but I believe if you were born to a one-parent household, one of the parents being on drugs, then you suffer with some type of PTSD. If it's never dealt with, right? If you never revisit that and get over it with God's help, then it becomes a danger to any relationship, and sometimes you can even become a danger to yourself. It took for me to get to be an adult, to realize that everything that I was going through had a lot to do with my childhood and my upbringing. I can't remember my mom telling me she loved me. I can't remember my mom giving me a hug. So a lot of the times that I was with my mom, she used to drink too, and when she drank, she'd get real violent. And so I watched her fight all the time. As a child, I done even helped her, in a little scuffle with a guy. And he had done got on top of her, and I grabbed a fork and I started. And I'm a kid though. I'm a kid witnessing this type of trauma. But I know I loved him. I used to want to go see him so much. It's like when I used to go to the store, he ain't really have time for me. Me feeling like my daddy don't want me, and my mama can't get off drugs to take care of me and be a mama, a good mother, like, my partner's them mom. I just wanted to be with her so much. And, I looked up to her. She was like my hero. One day I came in from school and I was 14. So I was in 8th grade. My grandma said, she said, come here. And she sat me down and she said, your daddy died today. He died of cirrhosis of the liver. I just had to go and just, try and process the fact that my daddy just died, the man that I wanted to be in my life, the hopes and the dreams that I had of him one day coming back, getting me, was gone. But when that happened, when my daddy died is when I started really acting out, and I wanted to start hanging with dudes that was really getting in trouble, just because I was reaching out for something. I don't know what it was, but I started acting out. I started skipping school. I started fighting. I started getting suspended from school. I was exemplifying a lot of hatred, you know what I mean? And I was just mad all the time, because nobody was consoling me. Nobody was talking to me about my daddy. Nobody was really, hugging me and telling me it's gonna be all right. And when I got in the car, they told me, they said, your mom just gone. Mind you, this is 3 years later, because my dad had just passed when I was 14, so this 3 years later. I mean, my mom had, passed on. When that happened, I was a lost case. I was a lost cause, man. I didn't believe in God. I just wanted blood. I just wanted to see blood. I wanted to hurt people. So my grandmother ended up kicking me out because I started rebelling really bad. And so I thank God for being an open ear for me when I cried out to him, because I could no longer, I didn't know which way to turn. I didn't have all the answers. And so I basically wanted to give you guys just a little bit about me, and, try and be as transparent as I can, because I want you to know the reason why I'm starting this podcast, Voices of Redemption. They don't want to put a face on their story, but they want to help someone else, because our stories and our testimonies help other people. Because there may be somebody that's going through, a young kid right now that may be out there going through, living with a parent that's on drugs, living with a daddy that's around the corner that won't spend time with him and don't feel like there's no future for him. And he might have heard my story and say, hey, man, if God did that for Felix, man, he can do that for me too, man. I mean, look how he turned out, man. Credit due to God, because I ain't do none of this myself. And it's not bragging, it's just saying what God can do. God can bless you the same way, but you got to turn to him. And so my message for the people is that whatever it is you're going through, depression, you addicted to drugs, you addicted to alcohol, you dealing with losses, you might have lost your mom, you might have lost your father. I can tell you what that's like, and I can tell you how I got through it. Wasn't nothing but God. And so God has laid it on me to be in front of this camera and to be trying to save somebody that might be going through the same thing that we done went through. I believe that God took me through all of that for me to be an example and a light to someone else that's going through. I just want to help somebody, man. But because I watched that video, bro, I turned to God and God changed my life, man. That right there is enough for me. And so also in the future, we're going to be working on getting a group home so we can help people that's getting out of shelters, getting out of prisons, and trying to get their life back right.